Okay, it's sunny here in Newbury Park. I'm going to give you a weather report, sort of, not not really. But it's supposed to be about 70 degrees Fahrenheit today, and I have a plan to go out for a bike ride and to be in nature. It's peaceful here. I'm able to do my shopping, visit my friends, take care of my family, and work without external impingements. Meanwhile, a cold front is sweeping across the nation from Texas to the East Coast. Charlotte actually can't be here today as a precaution for how that storm will hit her area in Charlottesville, Virginia. Um, my husband's sisters and their families live in Iran, and their internet is out, and they've lost all outside contact with the world. It's been shut off. And no one can get a word out about what's happening in their lives. We got one word a few weeks ago from a niece living in France that they could just for a few minutes get word out about how they were doing, and they're okay, but terrified. In Minnesota, thousands of people are protesting ICE treatments of immigrants, outraged by the killing of Renee Good and yesterday Alex Preti, and how they're being portrayed. One of Sati Sanga's council members lives about 15 minutes from that zone, and she's afraid to go out too far from her home. So I'm watching and hearing all of this and still have to go out and live this day where I'm at with the people in my life, with the abilities I have, and what can I take with me in my life as I live it today. And as a Dharma teacher, this is what comes to me, the Dharma teachings. That's what I have. That's what I'm going to go out and live this day with. And I was thinking about how I'm thinking about, there's a lot of thinking there, but I've been just really contemplating how we're going forward with teaching and writing right now. And in the last chapter of our book of reflective meditation, cultivating kindness and curiosity in the Buddha's company, we devoted that last chapter to Dharma teachings. The Dharma teachings we use regularly. And it's a short chapter. There's a lot more to say about these teachings, but the teachings that we highlighted were the characteristics of existence, ennobling truths and tasks, factors of awakening. We called them ingredients for wisdom, positive qualities and sublime emotions, and refuge. And we wrote about those during a pandemic. And now we've been talking about them for 5 years online, daily with you all. You've been sharing and talking about them with us. And we've put them all into this podcast so you can listen to how we give teachings in an experiential way. So my recent brilliant idea, only an idea, and ideas take quite a bit of effort, so I don't know if this one is going to go anywhere, but I thought maybe we can put our voices, curate those voices into a written form so we can access the depth of those teachings and how we've been talking about them these last years. And this feels like a similar impetus to why Nellie and I wrote during the pandemic. It was a way to be engaged with the time of uncertainty, with the time of fear, with the time of what we were seeing and hearing in the larger world. And that the idea of reminding ourselves of what do we know at these times? What do we carry with us? What is really part of our bones, our go-to habits and the way we deal with people. So this stems from this caring that I have for people I know who are deeply affected by the world right now, and for people I don't know who are affected. And I think I can use the royal we here. We care for the dukkha we're seeing in our nation, and how our nation affects other nations, that complexity, that interconnectedness, that dependently arisen way the world works. And as we care for people in our lives and for those we don't know living among us, they are the us. I mean, we are part of us. I'm kind of feeling like a little bit of a cliche, but this us is really felt by me this morning. And yet I have to pay attention to my life right now, while others are dying to protect this us. So sometimes dreams go the way meditation goes. And my dreams have been disturbed the last few nights, and they've been a little bit difficult to handle. But in those dreams, often something arises that I can land on, that settles me. Feels very similar to meditation. And this morning, I woke up with metta, friendliness. And it was like a kind of a voice, an attitude of this kind of range of friendliness to loving kindness, and almost felt like a feeling of aspiration, and of truth. So sometimes these teachings can come with affect, with feeling, and they can actually motivate us to think about something differently or to take different action. And in my mind this morning, it really went into the direction of don't turn people into enemies. Be upset, take action, but act from wisdom. Don't do things that you'll regret. And that really stuck with me. And don't not do things that later you'll regret that you didn't do. So it's kind of like my own speaking to myself with the teachings that came out in this form of a dream. But it did bring me to a teaching that we didn't talk too much about in our book. It's called Remorse. And I'm feeling something akin to remorse around the actions of our leadership. Deep pain for the course that they're taking. And maybe it's better named as ethical sensitivity, that I have for myself and for others, where I feel pain at the pain others give out. I feel pain at the pain I give out. So I looked up a sutta, and there is sutta about this, which is always interesting when you can find something in the Dharma that's directly from your experience. And it's the Kimathaya Sutta. And the Buddha compares remorse to cleaning a wound. He says, you don't keep poking at it to prove you care. You clean it so it can heal. And that remorse has that kind of functional role. I hear you, signal received, don't want to go in that direction, take a different action. And that it's really a signal to be more careful in the way we act and the way we bring metta into our lives for others. And this morning, I am going to include it for ourselves, for where we're at this time. I think that's all I have. I'll end here. We'll meditate together today. I'm really glad to be here.